There's that. And then
we're going live.
It should do it. There we are. Perfect. All righty. Look at this.
Just don't expect me to entertain you the whole time.
Daddy-o. Huh?
I said, don't expect me to entertain you the whole time, though.
You got to entertain me all day?
Yeah, well, I'll do my best, you know.
There you go.
There it is.
Here we go.
John the Entertainer. Who knew?
There we go.
Right?
Is that like Cedric the Entertainer?
Look at those curls he's got on his head.
Just a little whiter is all.
Look at the curls he's got on his head there.
Hey, until tomorrow, I'm getting a haircut.
Like
tomorrow,
right up here.
I know. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow too. I have to.
Oh, you look like. I bought some hairspray, so there you go. To control the frizz, the static electricity, you know. But
right.
John's hair looks like Willy Wonka, the kid from Willy Wonka. You know, the little curly hair.
Oh, Charlie.
Wow.
Charlie.
What was
I wasn't even gonna go dive on that.
Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, you got the curls like Charlie or like the other one that reminds me of is the Wizard of Oz. Right. Oh, he looks like he's got the hairdo of the mayor. You know, you need that Napoleon hat.
We'll see about that.
And Jennifer goes, John, you getting more hair on your head? You getting more hair on your head,
it's getting
right?
a little thicker. It's getting thicker through here, yes. It's amazing what happens when you start increasing your testosterone, what your body starts doing. You know, you would never have thought, you know.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. If anybody else that comes on, we're going to talk about.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, Keith's kind of. We talked about it last week. He's kind of got the patch going on the side there. You know, he's got lamb chops starting from the cranial nerve down.
I got the reverse mohawk.
Hey, you remember those years ago when you used to have that stuff called Nair? You put it on and it's just supposed to wipe your hair off. I tried that once when I was shaving my head for wrestling, and it made it look like a checkerboard. It's like spots here, spots here, spots here. It's like, okay,
I tried that. I tried that too. It just burned.
Right. That too. I forgot about that. So you mentioned that.
Yeah, that was not a pleasant experience.
Holy cannoli. No. Trying to, just like, I mean, trying to get stay balled or something. What was the deal with that? You guys?
Yeah, back when I was wrestling,
that was just a thing.
My head all the time. Yeah.
Yep.
So
okay. And that was you were how old were you then? 30s?
Let's see. It was 2000.
How old were you were wrestling?
2002 was when I started wrestling, and I went to 2012. So I was 23 to 33. So,
okay.
I mean, the whole reason I started wrestling was because of my diabetes. Because, I developed diabetes in January 2000 when I got diagnosed. And they tell you eat less, move more. I'm like, man, what else would be perfect besides jumping around a wrestling ring and acting like a fool all the time and constantly moving,
Pretty much.
And and
sad to say, real?
It didn't work. Oh, it's real. It's real fake.
I mean, that's not real.
It's real fake.
Real fake.
Dude, it's just as real as the movie scene, a fight scene in the movie. I mean, come on. Now, don't get me wrong. We have our accidental contacts. We have our accidental times, and when you get cold, you hit somebody, don't expect them to hit you back afterwards. It's just the way the business is. But whether it's real like UFC, no. But UFC is just as fake as wrestling is. So the only difference is they actually fight. So I know a lot of guys who've done that.
So when
you were, got paid to lose. So
why did you have to quit football? Did you have to quit football when you got diagnosed? Or
no, I never got the money to go back to school to keep playing in college ball. I wasn't from California or Texas, so I couldn't get a scholarship. Because, back there in Idaho State, they go like, oh, we're saving our scholarships for the California or Texas guys. And then, meaning ones I'm beating in practice every day. But yeah, I never got a scholarship to go back. That's the reason why I never went back to football. Other than that, though, that's shortly after that is when I developed diabetes. And that's when I started, hitting the gym harder, hitting that harder, professional wrestling, because, move more, eat less. And all it did is like we've been talking about for a long time is, like me and Keith both managed care for 25 years because of it. And it never got better. It got worse. And heck, at one point it actually killed Keith. And luckily he was come back. What was that? Like a minute you were dead, technically?
Yeah, just under. But
so, it's sad to say that everybody in the world today has been lied to about the metabolic health. And it's sad that's the truth, but it is the truth.
Yeah.
And, truth hurts. That's the sad part about it. But that's the reason why you hear about like yourself, myself, or Keith, or whoever else we always invite to these calls or these lives, because we're trying to spread awareness, get people to realize, hey, there is hope. It's just whether you're going to listen to us or keep spiraling down the rabbit hole.
There's more to life than just meds.
Yeah.
Right. If it wasn't for this protocol you see us talk about all the time, last year, I would be dead. I really believe I would have been. So, yeah.
Yeah. When we were talking last week, guys, when we were talking last week, and it kind of dawned on me, I kind of I put together a chart like this, looking at kind of a runway. And so I had a 70-year run before I hit the wall. And you guys had not quite 30-year.
I was 21.
And you guys hit that wall.
I was 21 and hit that wall pretty hard.
And then kids and the kids now born.
Oh yeah.
And then the kids now, they get maybe 10 years.
Well, you got to think. Kim on here, who's watching, she's a pediatric nurse, and she's seen kids in her practice as young as 2 years old being diagnosed with diabetes. So there's a major problem going on, and it's not genetic like they tell you it is. But what do I know? So.
We know what we've lived, right?
Right.
And that's.
I look back on what I was taught. Yeah, I look back at what I was.
So, question I've got you guys:
25 years, and I understand why I became diabetic now, not 25 years ago.
Right.
So, what's the question, George?
Lay it on us.
So, when you started dealing with the change in your 20s, what did you ever have any manhood issues? When did you reach, if you ever did reach for the blue pill? Did you ever? How old were you if you ever reached for the blue pill? If you ever had to?
Of course. I got diagnosed at 21. I probably started having really major problems with anything like that until early 30s, mid 30s. But even then, took the pills, did some shots, never worked. And then when I moved down here to Texas is when it really kicked in with the ED and all that kind of stuff. And, for the last 10 years in Texas, nothing worked, period. Easiest way to put it is a limp noodle. Sorry to be graphic, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
But doing this protocol completely changed all that. So meds never touched it. Heck, I was at one point talking to a doctor about getting some type of I guess you want to call it intervention, where they put a pump in and do all that kind of stuff. But I never went that far because
an implant.
Yeah, an implant.
Yeah.
There we go. That's the word we're looking for, implant. Yeah. I never went that far because one, my insurance wouldn't cover it because it's a cosmetic, not a necessity. So I was like, okay. And then it wasn't cheap. And I'm like, I don't have the money for it. So I'll just deal with it and move on, So what can we say?
Yeah. I was probably in my early 40s, probably about 41, 42, probably about 12 years ago ish, 13 years ago, maybe. And like John said, it just kind of
see, that's where we
creeps up on you.
You start looking at the,
you don't you see it once, you're like, yeah, okay, no big deal.
Yeah, it does, and it hits our head too, doesn't it?
Right. It's seen when I was talking to my doctors years ago about that whole situation. They told me it's because my testosterone is dropping. And for years, my testosterone was between 150 to 300. Just kept going up and down, up and down. And my endocrinologist wouldn't let me take anything over 300. Every time I got to 300, she would cut back my TRT shots or anything like that, to the point that she's like, if you go any higher, you're going to start getting blood clots. You're going to start having other issues. And even though I felt, I felt like I still had the mood swings hardcore because, my testosterone was still low. I didn't feel like I was normal because, my testosterone level wasn't high enough. Now that I've been doing this for a little over a year now, I don't know what my testosterone level is, but I know it's a lot higher than it used to be. Even though I don't take shots, I don't take creams, I don't take, peptides or anything like that. It's just all by doing this protocol and getting my hormones back in check and getting back in balance.
Yeah. Gives you your life back.
It really makes a huge difference, doesn't it, Keith?
Oh,
it
yeah.
Does.
It truly does.
I used to joke about my dad. Now, my dad would be 100 now, over 100. But I used to joke about him when he was 70. He was 72. I said, my dad's 72, and he's still shooting bullets.
Yeah.
And there was, now that I think about it, there's a heck of a lot of truth in there, because he never got in this modern day food environment. No, he died over 30 years ago. So he was well ahead of that, even though he was eating rice twice a day. Amazing. So what? And, and he never, ever exercised.
Yeah.
Yeah. He never, it was real rice. I mean, we had a 100-pound bag in our cabinet, and everybody knew how many rivets to put it into the rear pan and where the water went. You made it. I mean, that was, you're old enough to reach the pot and the water, you can make rice, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I never really kind of thought about it from those standpoints. So we really started talking about it last week, because the timeline's real. I mean, they're really, really real. Yeah. And but nobody talks about it like that. Nobody. No. And we start talking about the whole thing, that testosterone, what it does. It's a key hormone. It's a precursor for type 2. I mean, it's an early alarm, but we don't really ever measure for that, do we? And guys, I mean, truth be known, there's enough machismo that we don't. That's not normal table talk. Mm-hmm. You don't sit around and shoot a game of pool or throw cards or horseshoes or golf and talk about how's your flag waving. That's
No, I don't sit there with
people
my buddies
talk about
at a card
their
game
income before they'll talk about their. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You talked to Woody lately? I mean, it's like no.
I mean, if you think about it, we don't even talk to our doctors about it, let alone buddies. So I mean, If you can talk to your doctor, you should be able to talk to your buddy. But the thing is, a lot of guys want to talk to the buddies before their doctor. And even then, we still don't talk to our buddies about it. It's just like, okay, it's just something to deal with, have to deal with. I mean, eventually one day, maybe. No.
Yeah. No. It must be something, there must be something wrong with me, right? It's got to be, what? No. Well, there is metabolic, there is cellular level. Yeah.
Yeah, metabolic dysfunction.
Where else are we going to get support?
Right. I mean,
yeah. Where are we going to get support? Where are we going
to? That's, I hate to say
you're going to see the doc and goes, how's things going? That's fine.
Yeah, and see that's one thing I really do hate with today's society towards guys, period, is if you find a gentleman who is willing to actually sit down, open up, and lay out their problems to you, period, whether it's medical, physical, mental, just anything in general, and then everybody today's society jumps on them like you're a bad person, or you're a weak person, you're not a true guy, you're not a true man. Give me that man card back because you just lost it. And it before doing this protocol, I 100% I was that way. I was to the point of like, okay, if I do this, I'm going to lose this. If I do this, I'm going to lose this, and then I'm going to lose that camaraderie I have with the guys about being a true guy. And now, since doing the protocol and getting my mental clarity back, getting my hormones back, and getting me back, I can care less what people think of me now, because I know the truth. I know who I am. And I know what this protocol does for me and does for everybody else if you're consistent with it and you stick with it. And it's amazing how your hormones, how your whole attitude, how everything is tied together. And it's sad to say that because of the way the society is indoctrinated, I can never say that word right, indoctrinated. See, probably messed it up again. But anyways, because of that, when you finally get the truth out there, when you finally get the truth out there, you don't want to believe it because you've been told this lie for who knows how long, how many years. And it's not that, doctors or, personal trainers or nutritionists, dietitians, whatever, or registered dietitians, whatever you want to call them. It's not that they want to be bad people or tell you the wrong information. And, they just don't know this information.
Yeah.
And that information is slowly getting out there. And as it's slowly getting out there, the more and more people are waking up to it and seeing it. And then even still, I mean, I have a hard time. I mean, I've been on this protocol a year and almost a year and a month now. And it still blows my mind every day on what has changed, what it's still doing to me. I mean, even though I've been on it for a year, at one point I lost over 100 pounds. Now, granted, I put a couple of pounds back on, but I'm still 221, 222 pounds. And I started out at 320. And even though I'm getting leaner, I mean, I'm still wearing a 34-inch waist. It's the leanest I've been in my whole adult life. And did it without stepping in the gym. I've done it without running or bicycling or lifting weights. Now, granted, if I did go lift weights, I probably get better results because, once you build muscle, you get that resistance training and you get that better glucose sync for your body. And I probably get better results. But at the same time, I like sitting on the couch being lazy. What can I say? I'm just like everybody else. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. So
right.
The only difference is I'm brutally honest about everything. And I'm an open book. You ask, I'll tell you. You don't like the answer? I'm sorry, that's me.
Right.
So.
Right, and don't you think that one of the things that I think I see, and I'm the old observer here, right? But everybody, it seems that there's such an all or nothing.
Right.
So if you say something is good and works, there must be 500 reasons why it doesn't. Mm-hmm. Or if you say You need to get more sleep. Someone will come up, well, yeah, but they had a study that showed that you don't. Or they're most, everybody wants to find counter information.
Right.
Keith, do you find that they've got the next idea, the next, that's not true, because boom, 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 or why?
Or this study says this study says that. Okay, was that
I just
clinical
don't get
study,
it.
or was that just a peer review?
Yeah.
Right.
So. Yeah, and did it involve, and then people say, okay, great. Oh, but that was with laboratory animals, not real people. Or that wasn't enough real people. Or those real people were too long ago. Or they didn't take into consideration this factor about those small group that had the people want to discount anything, it seems like, and again, this is my generalization, but it seems like people want to discount anything that moves their belief off. I believe this, and I'm not going to be open. And one thing I would say, Keith, and John, I would propose that we have become very open to information. And we have become very open because we live it, we experience it, hear it, and see it daily, don't we? From people that say, "Hey, I did this." John and I, we laugh about it, but one day we're chatting and hey, my gums don't bleed. Yeah, mine either.
Yeah. Gums don't bleed anymore.
They want to talk about weight.
I had to use I used the softest bristles toothbrush I could find, and I'm barely brushing, and my gums will still bleed. Now I'm finding the hardest I can, and I'm like just digging in and going to town, and nothing. And it's, what can you say?
Buffing them up.
It's crazy.
It is. Everything I've learned in the last year has totally contradict everything I was taught from the time I was like 10 years old, going to health class, going to PE, going to strength training classes and all that kind of stuff. And now, granted, the strength training, it really hasn't contradicted that, but this is more along the lines of more nutrition wise. It's part that contradicts, because I was always told, got to have complex carbs, you got to have all these certain calories, you got to have this so much protein. Now, get me wrong, protein is great, it really is, but if you're eating the wrong type of protein all the freaking time, you're going to skyrocket your glucose. I'm living proof. I did it. And everybody's like, no. I'm like, no, it is, because at one point I'm doing anywhere from 300 to 400 grams of protein per meal every 2 to 3 hours. And in order to get that many grams of protein, it's not just animal protein. It was any type of protein I can find, whether it's a protein shake, protein powder, whey protein that I'm throwing in to mix it up. And when you start doing that, that's when you start getting the added sugars, the hidden sugars, the starches, or whatever else they throw in to add to make a filler for that product. And that's when I really started skyrocketing, even though it was protein. Now, when I was following it real close by just doing like animal-based protein, chicken, beef, salmon, stuff like that, it did a lot better, yes. But still eating every 2-3 hours elevated it. I didn't skyrocket, but it did elevate it. So, and that I never knew. That was one thing that really blew my mind when I finally figured that out from Dr. Kenny. And when he explained that to me along with the
fat, it all freeze.
Yeah, I was like, okay, no wonder why I couldn't keep my glucose under control like I've been trying for 25 years. So yeah.
It truly is. Like John was saying, the stuff I've learned in the last year is just it just blows my mind at how
when you you were training, John.
You're cutting out, George. You want training what?
I think he's frozen.
I think Father Time caught up to George. He's froze.
We got an unstable link here somehow or other. I'm not sure what's going on.
I think we have an unstable.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, I mean, I need to talk about mowing the yard, but you know, when I coached at that elite level, we did filming. Okay, we did biomechanical filming. We did muscle biopsies. We measured oxygen. We measured all kinds of all the time. It was amazing the technology that we're employing. But we never tested testosterone. I know we didn't do that. Never tested that.
Nope.
Did you guys ever test for that?
I did.
Go ahead, Keith.
I did a number of years ago now, and it was I
never saw that. We haven't considered it. And
yeah,
I worked with Dr. Gasol and Doc Eaters and that kind of thing.
It was barely over 200. And I was like, okay, I didn't know what that meant. Nobody explained what that meant.
So,
right.
It was just kind of like, yeah, here's your number. Okay.
See, I had one time when I was in high school, when I was breaking records, I had them, they're testing me for steroids. They're testing me for all, performance enhancing drugs, all this every week, because they couldn't believe that at 18 that I was lifting what I was lifting. So that time they did check my testosterone the one time at that time, and I was over 950 at that time. And then over the years between the diabetes, eventually just giving up and quit working out, it drops. And but nobody ever tested it until I think my endocrinologist did about 3 years ago and that's when I was doing the TRT shots and all that kind of stuff. Right. But I was still on the average of 150 to 250 on the average by then. But the thing is back in the late 90s when I was in high school, 950, if not a little higher. So that's the only time it's ever tested besides my endocrinologist. Welcome in, Todd. How are you, brother?
Okay.
Hey guys, Todd, I got a question for you. Todd, you are what? Are you 40?
No, I'm 39.
How old are you, Todd?
I will be 60 in a month.
I was about to say, man, you're the oldest looking 39-year-old I know.
Really?
Hey. No,
and I mean that with a kind heart.
This is the first testosterone.
Todd, a unique thing for me.
Sorry, George, you cut out on me.
Okay, this is the first testosterone group I joined, and no, I've never been tested for it. So whatever number you guys are talking about, I'm clueless about.
Okay.
It's either your actual testosterone level or your what they call free testosterone, something like that. One of the two. Hey, Jack, how you doing, buddy? Sorry. Wife just walked by with her grandson. I would throw him on here so you guys could say hi to him.
Todd's
but get in trouble.
Testosterone would always be free.
Right.
Oh, hey, baby. Hey, that's your grandson, right?
Yeah, little 6-month-old. He just got the okay to start doing, I want to say solid food.
6?
Yeah, solid food. So he's loving it. Sweet potato so far, and he's chowing them down like galore.
Okay.
I'm just waiting. I'm just trying to figure out how he at 6 months I can feed him.
Todd, I got a question.
Yeah.
There you go. Todd,
go ahead. What?
When you were diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic, 12?
10 years old.
Wow.
Well,
So in April, I'll
10
be
years.
a diabetic 50 years,
Yeah, it's like 50 years.
insulin dependent.
So your pancreas don't produce anything at all then?
Now, what about your testosterone? Was that ever checked, or have you never
I
checked it? Or
said when I joined on here, no, I've never been tested for it. Maybe I should, huh?
Wouldn't hurt.
That's one that the higher the number, the better off.
Right. Unless you're a female.
Well, after my
yeah,
I mean, don't get me
after,
wrong. The females need a little elevated testosterone too, but not all the time like us.
after my divorce, I've been joking. I need to grow my
not all
jewels
the
back.
time. So you've been on the protocol for now, what, 6 months, Todd?
December, 4 months, 5 months. So I've lost maybe 14 pounds. I've not done the extended fasting. I just thought it was fine until I started inquiring about it a couple of weeks ago, the benefits of extended fasting. But I've been told my entire life, you're diabetic. The idea of fasting is dangerous. Don't do it. And it was just talking with you and people in your group that maybe there are some benefits. I've had no problem going, 10, 12, 14 hours, no problem. And it has reduced the amount of insulin I've taken, especially that fiber around dinner. It really has reduced or eliminated a blood sugar spike. The only worry is if I take too much insulin and drink that fiber, how much sugar do I have to eat to get my blood sugar up because it's not responding quickly. But yeah, it's I've had some benefits. I think it's fasting more.
Yeah, Vicky just said, Todd, Vicky just put in the comments. Yeah, Vicky just said that she did a 72 hours with no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a type 1.
And she's on the insulin pump, right?
Insulin pump, I'm not sure, but she does have a continuing glucose monitor. I know that for a fact. I'm not sure. And then over the holidays, like Christmas and all that, she never was over one. I think it was between 100 and 110 the whole time.
Well, my issue, I've been a diabetic for so long.
Yes, yes, she's on a pump.
Okay, she has a pump. Okay.
And I think you sent me some information, George. I've been amazed at her blood sugar control. I've been one of those people for years that I've been an ideal candidate for an insulin pump. I was on one for 12 years until I had problems with my insurance. And I have not been on one for about another 12 years. But I can be 40 blood sugar or 400. I cannot feel almost any of the symptoms. So I depend on a continuous glucose monitor or I'd be poking my finger about 12 to 15 times a day to get my blood sugar readings because I can't feel it. I might get a headache sometimes. Maybe I get a little.
Todd, she says.
Yeah, she's doing 12 to 15 units a day.
Todd, she has a Medtronic pump and it's 12 to 15 units a day.
Okay.
And if I remember right, before the protocol,
she
was doing 60 units a day, if I remember correctly.
She was on what again?
Before doing the protocol, I think if I remember correctly, she was doing 60 units of insulin a day before the protocol.
Yeah,
55 to 65. 55, yeah. 55 to 65 per day.
Yep.
And I was recently told by an endocrinologist that are ideally trying to take 1 unit of insulin per kilogram. So that's about what I was taking.
Per kilogram, huh?
Per kilogram of body weight. I've never heard that. Normally I'm counting 1 unit of fast acting insulin per 15 carbs. That's kind of the rule of thumb I've been using. It's kind of varied.
Yeah, my fast acting was 1 unit per 50 over 150.
I was on a
Yes.
sliding scale, so I couldn't tell you. Mine changed all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I got really high, like 300 or 400, I'd need a few units just to get anything to move. And then I would typically go 1 unit per 50. Yes. It's like you're doing a
And
chemistry
now,
experiment.
Keith, you're not on any.
Right?
Yeah, no, I'm off
Keith,
all insulin use
Keith, you were
altogether. 108 units a day.
All right.
And I was off of it in 2 days.
What?
Yep.
I can't believe that.
Dead serious.
And so you didn't even get to the long-term fasting then, right? To show benefits?
I hadn't at that point. After that, the longest I've done is 6 days.
What?
And to be honest with you, I never missed it. I think that's what actually kick-started my foot ulcer into healing so fast.
Okay.
Is why it healed up so much faster than anybody. I mean,
Yep.
you know, and it worked out. I went to the dentist. I had to have a tooth pulled, so I wasn't feeling like eating anyway. So it just kind of rolled into it worked.
Just drink some more tea and call it good.
Yeah. I mean, it.
When you're fasting, what do? Take supplements and water and
I drink my tea. I drink my fiber.
Please. This is what I do.
Yeah.
When I fast, I have anywhere from 4 to 5 of these a day, and I have at least one balance a day.
Yep.
When I fast.
Yep.
Um,
I've gotten to the point now where usually I wake up, do a fiber, then I start off with my tea and whatnot, and then at dinner time I'll do another fiber and eat dinner.
Yep.
And
so they're taking the teas and losing the interest to eat. And these guys are diabetic and they've gone
I was not as
3 to 5.
quite as long as you, Todd. I was diabetic, same with John, 25 years.
we're type 2 though, so
Yeah. Type 1 is a little different.
yeah, that is correct, Vicky. Sipping the tea regulates your blood sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got you on speaker here. My brother is also type 1 diabetic, and so he's kind of listening as I'm talking. A little with you.
Yeah, I mean, not a problem. That's the way. That's how you're going to learn. I mean, you listen to us talk about it, or you have somebody reach out to you and talk to you about it. And that's the only way you're going to learn. Because if you try to rely on management care, which is known as healthcare these days, they're not going to give you the right information. Now, granted, it's a little bit different for type 2 versus type 1 because type 1, yes, you need insulin in order to live because either your pancreas ain't producing enough or not producing any at all because the beta cells got killed by the autoimmune. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, you do still need it. But like with Vicky, she was doing 55 to 65 units a day before the protocol, and now she's doing 10 to 15 on average a day. Plus, she's fasting. Plus, she's thriving on this as a type 1 diabetic for 35 years.
Yeah.
So she's taking the fast-acting insulin, but doing it very slow as a basal rate only. And then if she eats, she's just doing a unit or so with her carbs, right?
Correct. At one point, if I remember correctly, she wasn't taking insulin at all before she was eating. So I think it's just a matter of how she eats through the day.
Insulin, then she's taking 0 units without eating.
I mean, if you're not eating carbs, if you're eating fiber and you're eating protein, the fiber is going to lower your protein to the point that you don't need the insulin because it's not going to spike your glucose. It's just going to gradually raise it.
See, I was when I was educated with the pump. Now this is 20 years ago, but I was told roughly I needed about 1 unit of insulin per hour as a base rate to get my body by, assuming I'm not eating anything, and then I start counting carbs from there. So Vicky's experience is different than what I was told, and so I have to relearn some things. Maybe Vicky's a key.
Yeah, the longer you do it, then the better track of you keep of, and then see how your body reacts. You'll be able to dial it in better. It's really hard to it's hard to compare it to like what I had or what Keith has or what Vicky has because everybody's body reacts different to the protocol. So, like with me, I lost 60 pounds that first month I was on the protocol. And everybody's like, how the heck did you lose 60 pounds? I mean, I don't know, I just did. Now, whether it was visceral fat, whether it's because I was about to go septic when I started this, or I already lost the weight, maybe, I don't know. All I know is before doing the protocol, I was 320 pounds. A month later, I'm down 60 pounds. And it just, since then, I've got down to 100 and then now 90 pounds. I gained a couple pounds since then. But
how much you?
right now, I'm weighing 221, 222 pounds, depending on the day. But I started at 320 with a 44 to 46 inch waist, and now to 34 inch waist.
Jeez.
And went from a triple 4X shirt, depending on what brand it was, down to a large, extra large, depending on what brand I wear.
Congratulations.
Yeah, about the same for me, Todd. I weighed 285 when I came out of the hospital, and still weighed about that when I started in January and
I eat carbs a
in
little.
June.
It goes off my continuous glucose monitor. It acts like a pancreas.
Oh, and she also says that it depends on what she eats too, Todd. So, like if she eats carbs and she does take a little insulin, if she don't eat carbs, then she don't take any at all.
I'm the anomaly. I just blew up and came down. I didn't ever have shots. I didn't take pills. I mean, I hit that 834, 18.1 and came down with the protocol to 90 and 7.2. And okay, I've visited Should Be Dead, come on, and came down to play with you guys, so.
Correct.
I have an entirely different story with entirely different numbers.
But all of you
protocol so universally smooth is that our bodies truly operate inside of the system the way they're supposed to, and they're all unique. So if someone says only eat this or only eat that or only do this or only do that, interesting. However, how's it going to apply to me? How's it going to work for you?
But all of you guys are
has different that God gave us. We're finishing it up. We're polishing it up. We're going back to the real state that it should be in.
But all of you guys are eating a lot of vegetables now and
we can do.
Staying away a lot, right?
I still eat the same crappy food I did before. I don't eat as often and I don't eat as much. I put a lot of time restrictive eating in, and the only vegetables I get really is right here, unless I have a sandwich, there's lettuce on it, or if I go to Texas Roadhouse and get like a grilled chicken salad. But if I don't get a salad at the Roadhouse, I'll get my steak, and then maybe one of the sides I get is a house salad. That's the only fiber I get, because this right here is equivalent to 6 cups of broccoli, 5 apples with the peel, and 2 cups of black beans. I can't get that good quality fiber at the grocery store for the price I pay for this.
All right, so what you're doing is probably the way my brother would, because he doesn't like vegetables.
He just got California.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I can't get that good quality because it's nutraceutical. It's medical grade. So you can't get that without going, because you go to the grocery store. Yeah, you may get some broccoli, you may get some Brussels sprouts or asparagus, but the thing is, you don't know where the source is coming from. You don't know if it has any glyphosate or any herbicides or pesticides or mold or mildew. At least these are third-party tested. And I mean, if you look on the back here, you'll see the serial number.
Vicky said her A1.
Yeah, go ahead, George.
Todd, Vicky says her A1C. Todd, Vicky's A1C in July was 5.9. I mean, Vicky says her A1C in July was 5.9.
Okay, I got that. My recent A1Cs were 6.8, 7.0, and 6.9. 3 months between each of those. So, but I'm still floating around. I've got the continuous glucose monitor that what brand is it?
Now those A1Cs, were that on the protocol or before the protocol?
Before I was, I lost my insurance, stopped working, and I was back to insulin shots because before the Trump thing got involved with the expensive insulins, I was buying 3 vials of insulin for $1,300 a month. I could not afford it. So I started buying cheaper insulins, and that got me into trouble where they have a different onset, a different peak. And even though I'm in the habit of my lifestyle was outside sales, so I'd test my blood whenever I got in the car if I was not on a continuous glucose monitor. But that didn't save me. I got in a car, and 30 minutes later, I had no idea where I was, and I lost my license because I got into a really bad accident.
Okay, let me show you this. My A1C before doing the protocol was 9.4. 90 days after, I was down to a 6.1. And then in October, I did another one. And then when I did mine in October, I was on an 80-hour fast at that time, okay? Yeah. My A1C went back up to a 9.8. So it's higher than what it was when I started. But the thing is my fasting glucose was a 148, even though I was fasting for 80 hours. But at that time, I did a fasting insulin, and my fasting insulin was a 3.5, right where it needs to be.
Okay, so I had never done a fasting insulin. I've only heard it from George a month or so ago, and but that's where you see how your body reacts by taking some sugar and continuing to touch your blood. Is that what it is?
No, they actually test what your insulin level really is.
Yeah,
you want it between 2 and 5 is optimal. And like we had a lady on the protocol. Her A1C was a 4.8. Her fasting glucose was in the 80s, but she felt terrible. And finally, she was on the protocol. She argued with her doctor for 3-4 times to get her fasting insulin done. And they finally checked it. And her fasting insulin was a 150. Even though her A1C was where they wanted to be, even though her fasting glucose was where they wanted to be, where insulin was just skyrocketing. And that's why she felt crap. That's why she felt like sluggish. That's why she felt terrible. So that really me, even though my A1C went up, my fasting glucose was, it's 148. So, that's just my body my body dumping sugar from storage into the bloodstream because, your bloodstream's got to have so much glucose at all times. But even though my A1C was high, but I know it was high because I was eating junk because I was really putting the protocol to the test. I was eating everything sugar I can, carb I can, and just not all the time, and doing the time restrictive eating because I wanted to put the protocol to the test. And my A1C went up, but my fasting glucose was 148 after 80 hours of fasting, and my insulin was at 3.5. That's the only time I've ever had my insulin ever checked. So I don't know how high it was before, but that was also 10 months on the protocol. So I promise you, before the protocol, my insulin was skyrocketing, I'm sure.
Well, I told you my recent A1Cs were 6.8 and 7, but the doctor will say, well, that's a little high, but that's fairly good for you. It's just that you mix in, my alarm goes off when it hits 69. So I take some quick sugar or a tiny bit, whatever, but I could be 300 and not feel it. So my 7.0 is a roller coaster.
I was one of the types that I could get down to 50 before it started messing with me.
Right.
And then I can shoot up to 600 and feel fine. I could be running a marathon or walking around at 600 and it wouldn't affect me. When there's people out there that can fluctuate from 2 to 300 and they're in a freaking coma in the hospital. So I was one of the ones that I can go up and down all the time and it didn't affect me, at least energy wise or like that. But it affected me. My neuropathy is where it really hit me in the get-go. But that's the reason I got the foot ulcers, because of the neuropathy and all that. But the thing is your A1C, that's just the average of your glucose for 3 months is what it is. And the reason I was told they started checking A1Cs was because my endocrinologist years ago told me they found that people would come in for the checkup. They would do a fasting glucose or whatever. They would fast like 3-4 days before the checkup and get a good glucose number and look good for the doctor. But in all reality, they weren't. So that's why they switched to the A1C, because it's harder to manipulate. Now, whether that's the truth or not, I don't know. But that's what I was always told.
Is when, as Todd, you got an average day, and that means deny.
Yeah, look, we got Batman in the room.
Yeah, he's just the husband.
Oh, honey.
What up? Sorry, I'm stepping out real quick. I'm pumping gas.
Hi, me.
No,
hello,
good,
buddy.
brother.
What's going on?
All righty.
Well, George, I got to step off.
We're just talking about
care
crazy
of
world
before,
of testosterone.
before our meeting. So
Yeah, before our
I'll
next
see you
call.
guys in a little bit.
All right, brother, be safe.
Yep. See you, Keith. See you in a minute.
Yeah, sorry, we got off a little topic of testosterone.
Yeah,
but
fasting idea, fasting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's the other thing.
what's new in your world down there, Jaime?
He's pumping gas. You may not be able to hear you.
He's pumping
I can
gas.
hear you guys. I don't think y'all can hear me. I don't know if y'all can hear me.
So, Todd, what other
We can
questions
hear
do you
you.
have today?
No, I'm just popping in, and you're asking me questions, so I'm telling you. But but I can learn a little bit about testosterone by being quiet, I guess.
Well, actually, the funny thing about testosterone is once you actually start getting your cholesterol level under control to where your cholesterol is elevated to where it needs to be, your testosterone starts increasing. Because your cholesterol, believe it or not, is a building block for your sex hormones. And then that's the other thing people don't understand too is your LDLs. You got your pattern A and your pattern B. But the thing is your pattern A is what carries the cholesterol through your body to where it needs to be to do what it needs to do. So if you got the wrong type of LDL, you're not going to carry cholesterol around and you're going to have problems.
Exactly.
It causes a lot of problems. So you need a
very
LDL.
So you need the good LDL, not the pattern B. And the sad part is today's modern food environment feeds into pattern B.
Okay, that's what I got to learn about.
Yeah.
About cholesterol and so forth.
Yeah.
So increase your
pattern A and
soluble
pattern
and
B.
soluble
If you want to visual, think about pattern A as like pattern A is like
fluffy
big
balloon,
puffy floating balloon.
Yep.
And pattern the B is like a bowling ball.
Yeah, and you look at cholesterol as fat,
baby.
I mean,
which
look,
one?
Look at your blood as water. Look at cholesterol as fat. When you put fat in water, what does it do? It floats. It separates. So you need something to carry that around, which is your pattern A LDL molecule. So,
you need light fluffy ones. Okay.
So you need LDL. Unfortunately, with today's modern environment, with the oxidative stress and all that, when you get oxidized, that's what turns the good pattern A into pattern B, which is a small dents, like George was talking about. Being an oxidative stress like that is what causes your cardiac disease, all your cardiac problems, because it damages the vessels around your blood vessels, it damages them, the endothelial cells. And once those get damaged, they get oxidized, and that's when the plaque gets stuck. That's when all that stuff starts happening, and they blame it on LDL. And it's not. It's actually because of oxidative stress. So once you can learn to control that and learn how to change it, where you got the good pattern LDL, which is pattern A instead of the pattern B, then the pattern B doesn't penetrate the cells, break the endothelial. Pattern A it's like George said, it's a big fluffy buoyant balloon, and it bounces off the vessel and doesn't cause any damage. And then the other thing too is once you start getting your sugars down, you're not getting those tiny shards flying through your bloodstream, causing damage to your arteries, or making your arteries turn like a glass type thing is the easiest way to describe it, because it gets hard and brittle. So once you start getting that under control, your body starts to heal, and once it starts healing, all that stuff balances out. There's a reason it's called balance, because it balances your hormones, it balances your body, it balances everything out.
Let me ask a general question then. As a person that has had diabetes for 50 years, I've had those glass shards going through my veins for years. I'm sure I've got filled up in the veins and it's in my veins. What kind of a test should I get, and then where should I go from there?
A test is a very good question. I'm not sure what test would pinpoint that for you besides just your regular metabolic blood work panel for like your LDLs, your triglycerides, your HDLs. I think that would probably be your best one, because if you know what your triglycerides are, you know what your LDL are, your total cholesterol, and your HDL, you can figure everything you need to know from those numbers by doing certain ratios.
Yep.
So there may not be a certain test I can get to see.
What's that, George? I think George might know what the actual test is called.
Well,
I just know
just the measurements. You start looking at the ratios of the data you have.
Yeah.
And then you can see if you need to go forward with any other kind of tests or monitoring.
Hey, I really missed you guys this weekend.
That's where that would come into play.
Yeah, I couldn't make it down there, Jaime.
Well, you were down with all the girls.
Fort
Lauderdale.
Pretty cool.
It's okay. You can say it has pretty scenery. We're not going to judge.
And you were surrounded, weren't you?
No, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, you were surrounded with estrogen.
I was there with my wife and my kids. I took the kids.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't get to pay too much attention there.
So the guy that's been doing most of the talking to me was near death with foot ulcers. And he started going on this protocol and prepared to
show you, actually. I dropped my phone.
Yeah, Todd, here, show him. Here, John's gonna pull up his ulcer to look at. You can show it to your brother. John's gonna show you his ulcer.
Okay, I just mentioned that
to your brother.
One that was near death with his foot ulcers, and he fixed everything. Hold on a second.
Yeah, Keith's ulcer was the one that was really bad. Mine, this was actually my third one. I mean, this is before the protocol, and that's a month later on the protocol healed. So I never had any meat pulled out, but I had the skin removed and all that. My first two were a lot worse than this. So, but that healed in a month on the protocol. And so I'm actually dealing with a fourth one right now. It's actually healed, but I don't see the doctor until Thursday to get cleared. And then when I go see him on Thursday, I'm going to get the full details, because if I remember right, it was 11 centimeters measured out. It was like about an inch deep, and it took it 60 days to heal. So that's, to be impressive, because I never had one heal that fast.
That's a rocket ship. Yep, that's a rocket ship.
Okay. So, after looking at your picture here,
we got another call.
Yeah, we're getting another call in a couple minutes. So.
Okay. So after looking at your picture, since his podiatrist is having to come every 2 weeks because he gets these sores underneath calluses.
Todd,
I know you got another call. Okay.
We can reach out and get with Todd.
Well, what I'm going to do, Todd, I'm going to hook you and John up. Todd, I'm going to hook you and John up. Okay.
No, so if you got a blonde
chat, and I'll also get you in contact with Vicky.
Okay. Yeah, Vicky's very knowledgeable about that.
Vicky is blind.
Protocol.
Okay.
So. All right, you guys.
All right, thanks.
All right, guys, we got to jump.
See you on the next call, and then Todd, will definitely see you soon. If not, definitely Tuesday next week. So.
Okay, good.
See you guys.